Hello from Arizona. My name's Cal and I want to welcome you to Tough Trails. Alright guys, in this episode what we're going to do is we're going to replace this power brake booster. That's coming off. Okay, so everything to this point, we've done so much to this thing, trying to chase a little gremlin. And so what we're going to do is we're going to change out this power booster today. So stay tuned. That's what's up for this episode. Cool beans. All right, cool. So in this episode, what we're going to do is we're going to change this power brake booster out right here. It's got a leak in it. This one was one that got had some problems on the side of a mountain and lost all of its brakes, emergency brakes, blew radiator hoses. It was a disaster, and it's set for like 6 years. So we're trying to get it back out here. So the issue that we're having right now is when we apply the brake pedal, the engine accelerates and stuff. And under some previous issues that were previously identified included the master cylinder had failed, and the master cylinder has a seal on the back of it, and that seal failed. So every time you'd pump the brakes, it was just pushing the brake fluid inside of the brake power booster. And our theory here is that brake fluid sat in there for 6 years and it's caused some damage somewhere, or a leak somewhere now. So now what happens when we press the brake pedal, we have a vacuum leak. So, and we've already, changed the hose here. There's a two-way valve in this hose actually that goes one way. We've changed out the master cylinder. We've changed out wheel cylinders. We've changed out calipers. We've changed out brakes. So anyway, at some point we're going to have some brakes, and this is the last piece. So that's what happens when you start chasing a problem. So in this episode, we're going to change out a power brake booster. All right, cool. Stay tuned. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to swap out this master cylinder right here. So we did all the brakes. We got all new brakes on it. And I'm still feeling it's spongy. My pedal's too spongy still. So there's a possibility that the seals in the back here are failing, and I'm pumping brake fluid into my power brake booster right there. So we're going to take this all off. We've got a new one already off Amazon, of course, because I don't go shopping. And we're going to swap that out, and then we're going to re-bleed all these brakes and see if we can't get some brakes, because I'm dying to get this thing out on the trail again. Give me some videos of this thing. So anyway, that's what we'll be doing. Okay, so your lines here are 10 millimeter, okay? I don't know if you can see that, 10 millimeter, right? Now it's better if you could use a fitting wrench, and I have a set, I just don't have a metric set, so easily get those off. You gotta be real careful with these. Make sure, let's see if we just wanna get them to break. There we go, see that? Nice and easy. We don't wanna strip these things out. So anyway, 10 millimeter, you got one here, and one over here. And one over here. Okay, cool. Okay, so then once you have your brake lines removed, you're gonna take these off right here. These are 12 millimeter here. You got one on each side, okay? And then you're gonna pull this out, all right? Cool. Notice I got a little drip cup there. Here's a little pointer for you too. If you get brake fluid on your hands, don't touch your car. Don't touch your paint job, okay? It's gonna do bad things to your paint. So keep your hands clean when you touch your car, okay? These little ratchet wrenches are really good for stuff like this. So I use them when I can. Oh look, one-armed mechanic. All right. Oh no. It's nice to have a little catch system there, and then knock your catch system over. Yeah, that's how we do it. And to pull your master cylinder out, you just got to work it out a little bit. It's got a seal around it, a big O-ring on it that helps it seal. Okay? Okay, so we got it cleaned off there. And one of the things that happens with these is that the seal on the back of your master cylinder, you know what, let me grab that would be good. All right, so I got a piece of hose here. Right here, you can see it going in. And what I'm gonna do is just kind of see if I can kind of get an idea of how much is in there. So I should be at the bottom right there. Yeah, see it? Can you see how far it went up on that tube right there? Yeah, it went up almost 1.5 inches. So we're down to the bottom again. See it? Real quick, see it? Where it's brown towards the end, it's about 1.5 inches of it. So now I get the pleasure of sucking that out of there. All right. So we need to take a look at this again, because this brake fluid that's in that booster didn't come from the outside of this, it came from the inside. And I can't point to it, but if you follow that shaft down the middle, back in there, that's a seal. And that seal right there is what's failed. And if you look at it as I turn it, you can see it's crooked. See how it's on the, let me see how to do this. On the left side, where you see the snap rings meet at, you can see the gap between the seal and the top of the lip. When you look on this side, you can see where that seal has come up. And it's not as protruded in there as much. And that's more than likely where the seal failed at. So every time you hit the brakes and they got all spongy, it's because the brake fluid wasn't being pressed into your cylinders and at the wheels. It was being pushed, a little bit of it being pushed past this seal right into your booster. And so you're losing brake fluid, but you don't have anything on the ground. You can't figure out what's going on. Your brakes are shitty. Well, that's why. Okay, so we're going to solve that by replacing it. Now, they do make rebuild kits for this, but master cylinders just aren't that expensive, and I didn't feel like doing it. So, okay, cool. All right, so what we're gonna do here, just to show you an example, is I'm gonna use this end right here, just like a straw, and you're gonna see how much fluid has gotten in this booster. Now, hang on. All right, now I got my thumb over it, so I'm gonna try to pull it out and put it in a cup. Okay, I got a little recovery cup right there. But I'm gonna have to set this down. I only got a couple of hands. Sorry about that. I ordered another one, but. All right, so we sucked it out of there as much as we could till it's just blowing bubbles. But you can see right here, look how much we pulled out of that booster. Now this dirty brake fluid came out of that booster. So we're gonna get this away from the paint. There we go. And okay, so we're gonna try to do this. So here's the back of our power brake booster up on top. See it up there? Okay, see that? All right, so there's 4 bolts. They look like 12mm from here. And then there's a pin up there holding it in. I got a flashlight up here so you can see it. You'll see it better when I take it out, but right up there, okay? And so we're gonna remove it right there, and then we're gonna pull the power brake booster off and then put a new one in, okay? Cool, all right. All right, so this is the new power brake booster for the 89 Tin Top. And I just want to show you what it looks like. So these plates and this part right here, and that way while we're taking this apart, you'll kind of understand how things work and where they go. And that's what it looks like on that side. Okay? All right, cool. And remember, when you mount this, because you're going to be underneath the backside, make sure that tube right there with the yellow cap on it is in the upward position, over to the maybe to the right as you face it, or left as you face it. Okay? Something like that. Okay? Cool. All right. Okay, so you can kind of see that cotter pin. Let me see. Right there. It's a damn cotter pin right there. So you're gonna need 3 hands to get that out. 1, to hold the flashlight. 2, to hold the pin from spinning. And 3, so you can grab the damn ends of that cotter pin, squeeze them together and push it back out of there. So I'm thinking 3 hands is all you're going to need. Okay, I would almost rip this seat out and get rid of that too, so you have a little bit more room. But yeah, it's gonna be a bitch to get that out of there. So okay, so just be prepared. But you can see up in there the bolts are already out that we needed out. See? Okay, cool. All right, so now that you move the 4 bolts, the cotter pin, and the pin that holds it to the brake pedal linkage, you should be able to come over here and just pull your booster out. So try to get it out around those lines and stuff, and it'll come out for you. Try to do it with one hand for you. And there you go, one each brake booster, and it's out. Okay. All right, so what we did is we took this piece off of this one, and you just back this off. It's a 14. Just back it off, and this is going to cause just a spin, and then just put it back on. And remember where it was when you took it off. Okay, and that's it. Now we'll tighten this one up right here, and try to reinstall it. Now, one of the things I am concerned about is that the diameter of this new one is a lot bigger than the diameter of the old one. Here, so there we go, see? So, you know, the newer, improved one's just a little bit bigger. I don't know. And then something else I'm going to point out too is, you see down here all this paint coming off and stuff? This is the bottom of it. And remember, I took a cup, oh hell, more than a cup, of brake fluid out of this thing when I was trying to save it the first time. But something was wrong. So now we're going to see if this brake booster is going to work. We'll see. I'm going to see if I can even get it in there. Okay, cool. I just want to catch with that before I put it back in. Okay, so we've got this in. We measured where it was before, and now we're going to try to put this oversized brake booster in here, and we're going to just see if it fits. So this may not work out. Yeah, this is pretty, it's hitting over here. So. Okay, now I'm not sure how good we're going to be able to get this for you, but we're going to try like hell. Okay, so I want to point out that when you're replacing your power brake booster and you come back and you put it in, what you want to do is you want to make sure that the adjustment is correct on your Clevis when you put it on your brake pedal here, where that goes. Okay, right up there on top, if you can see it. Okay, because what's important here is that if that Clevis is too short and you bolt everything up and you put your master cylinder back on, you put your brake lines back on, you bleed all your brakes and stuff, and you find out you got to adjust that Clevis, and you find out this is going to be pretty damn difficult to get that thing to spin in here. You're just not going to have the room that you need. And another thing that could happen if you don't have that adjusted correctly is that where the brake pedal stops and hits your pin for your brakes, well, if you can see it, let's say that you can,
and that's going to be off of that switch up there. Your brake arm is not, your brake pedal arm is not going to hit against that uh, brake light switch that you got there. And that's going to do is going to leave your brake lights on all the time. So that's not going to be good, because you're not going to know it, and it's going to be killing your battery. So it's important that when you're doing this, do your power brake booster first. Make sure all the connections in here fit. Make sure everything is correct. Make sure it fits against your brake switch, and the clevis is in the exact position that you need it to be in. Because if you're a little bit short, you're going to have short brake pedal travel. You're going to have brake lights on, those kinds of things, and it's not going to work. So do that brake booster first before you do anything else. Because if you have to back this brake booster off after you put a master cylinder on it and your brake lines, and you bled your brakes, this is a disaster waiting to happen for you. You're going to get frustrated in hell. You're not going to want to do this. Okay, so that, I just wanted to bring that out to you. Make sure that when you're doing this, do that booster first. Don't worry about anything else. Get that booster and this pedal travel and all that correct first before you move on. Okay, all right, cool.
Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a gasket, and I'm going to use my gasket material here. And as you can see, I actually just set it above those studs right there, and I pushed, and you can see, or I've got the dimples that I left in there from that. Okay, so I'm going to drill that out actually with the drill, and I'm going to place it over, and I'm going to cut out my center hole. Okay, so as you can see, I just drilled the holes out, and then I trimmed around the edges, and then for the center hole, as you can see, I've split it, and then I'll take this bad boy right here, and I'll just go around the edges, and then I'll trim it out around the back, and there you go, you got a homemade gasket. Okay, cool. Okay, and so there's kind of your gasket. You know, trim these chads off. You don't want any hanging chads if this is going to pull through. Make sure that those are trimmed out, okay? And then just kind of sketch out, you know, the size of your gasket that you want, and then pull this off and cut her out and apply it, and you're done. All right, so your brake booster is installed and bolted up on the inside, and the pin's back in, the linkage is on, and all that. I do have to fight with that damn cotter pin again. Just not looking forward to that. And here's your booster. We just made our gasket right there. And now we're gonna stick the master cylinder in there. Okay, just wanted to update you. If you can barely see it in there, and it's gotta go right inside that shaft, this at the end of this master cylinder. There we go. Okay. Okay, there we go. Then we're gonna tap it in place, put a couple nuts on it, okay? Okay, so the master cylinder's into the new power booster, and I've got my lines in here. What we're gonna do right now is we are about to, there we go. We're about to bleed the master cylinder again. So I gotta hold all these in here at one time. Let's see if we can let you see what it does. But you really need two hands for this, and holding this phone, this camera, and keeping all these lines in here. It's a major pain in the ass. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to see it. Basically what's gonna happen is press the pedal, and it's gonna blow bubbles in it, and then we're gonna leave the pedal depressed to the floor, and then we're gonna hook up our brake lines. That's really what happens, okay? So I'll let you see. I'll try to let you see some bubbles. Slowly press it to the pedal, to the floor. There we go. Again. 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 And the idea here is to keep going. Again. Okay, so there you go. Your power booster is in, your master cylinder is back in there, your lines are hooked up, and the master cylinder is bled. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna roll this back, and we're gonna start to bleed the brakes now, and see if we can get some brakes in this thing. All right, cool. Okay, if you can see up in here. So apparently I don't play well with others, so a lot of times I've got to figure out how to do things by myself. So here we have, this is our fluid bottle. It's hooked to a magnet right here. That is our bleeder valve right there, 10 millimeter cert right there. I got my hose on it. if you can see it. I'm trying to get in there as best I can for you. Maybe like that. Okay. So now the idea is here, I'll go and pump the brakes and the air will come out. Now on this Geo Tracker Suzuki Sidekick, same one, this is an 89. For both sides, you only have one bleeder valve, and it's right here on the left side. Okay. So I'm not going to be able to set this phone up here so you can see this. But what I'm going to do now is I've got it cracked open. Let me see. There we go. She's cracked open. And now I'm going to go pump the brakes a little bit and see if I can't pump some of the air out of here. Okay, cool.
Maybe a little bit.
Okay.
Still hard?
Is what still hard?
You want me to still press down hard?
Yeah, keep pumping, babe. Keep pumping. But you feel like they're getting harder.
Yes.
There you go. Look at all that foam coming out of there. Look in the bottom. That's terrible. Pretty hard?
Yep.
Okay. Wow. There's so much contaminated brake fluid in here. All right, babe, stop. Okay. So we had pumped down about half of that to the halfway mark. You can see right about here. And now we topped it back off. Okay, we're gonna go a little bit more. All right, babe, go ahead. I want you to pump it up to get real hard, and then I want you to hold it, okay? Hold it. Okay, do it again. If you notice the brake's getting harder, you got to tell me, okay?
Okay. It's getting harder.
Hold. Okay, pump again and hold 5 times. Bam, 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 real fast and hold. Okay, let off, pump them 5 times and hold. Wow, a lot of air in the lines. Okay, pump. Okay, now when you're bleeding this thing, you're gonna have to fill up this reservoir several times to get all the air out and stuff. So we're finished up with the back at this point. We've done the right front caliper. We're gonna do the left front caliper next, and we'll show you how we do that. Each of the calipers up front has got its own bleeder valve, so you'll have to do them individually, unlike the rear, which you just have the one side that has the bleeder valve on it. But remember, you're doing the farthest point from the master cylinder all the way up to the closest point. The closest point is on the driver's side, and we're going to do that next, and we're going to do that last. Okay, so we just topped it off. Now we're going to crawl up underneath. Okay, all right. Okay, so this is the front caliper, and we got our bottle with our magnet holding it on the spring, and we'll try to get you up in here, but you can see where it's hooked up to that bleeder valve right there, that nipple. Okay, so this is the last one we're going to do, so we're going to knock this one out. Okay, all right, cool. All right, Mom, start pumping five times and hold it. Okay, 10 times and hold it. Ten times and hold it. Okay. Okay. You got good hard brakes, babe?
Yep.
Okay, now what we're doing here You don't have to do this 5 times, 10 times and hold it thing. With this, what this is to do is what this setup does is it allows you to do this by yourself. And basically, you just open that valve, you hook that bottle up just the way it is, open that valve, keep your master cylinder full, and then you pump, and all the air is going to go out of this thing, and you're going to get nothing but good, clean brake fluid coming in here. And then what you do is you shut the valve off with your wrench, you tighten it up, and take it apart, and that's it, you're done. So, but in this case, what I'm doing is I want to see what's coming out of here, and that's why we're doing it this way, because when we were doing the back brakes, we were getting some white foamy material out, and since this is a new, since this is a new caliper for this vehicle, I just didn't want to, I wanted to be able to see what was going on. That's it, so.
All right, so if you can see that, she's all back together now. The power booster's in. We got a new master cylinder in there, and we bled all the brakes. We've replaced the wheel cylinders in the rear drum brakes. We've replaced the brake shoes in the rear. We've replaced one left front caliper on it. The brake booster here, master cylinder, all that's been changed and done, and everything is done except one little cotter pin I got to put back. So it was a fight to get it out. It's gonna be a fight to get it in there. So I'm in no hurry to do that. So I just want to get you updated. That's what it looks like. It's all done. It's all in there, and we're done. Off to the next thing. Cool. Thanks. All right, hey guys. I want to thank you for, if you made it this far to the end of the video. I really appreciate you watching this video and all of our videos. I hope that you got something from this. You know, those brakes are kind of tricky. I actually had to do it several times before we figured it out, chasing this problem. But now the brake problem is solved, and hopefully me skinning knuckles and wasting all my time, maybe it'll save you some time. But I really appreciate you watching our channel. Thank you very much.